welcome back to Box Crafted. It's good to have you here. Today we're going to talk about track saws. Now, I don't own a track saw. What I have is a very old circular saw, and this one has a lot of miles on it. I inherited it from my dad, and one of these days it will probably retire, but for now it's what I use. I don't use a lot of plywood. I tend to make most of my stuff with lumber, but when you do break down plywood, track saw is super handy. So today we are going to make our own track. Using a small piece of plywood and a 1x4, and then cutting it exactly to fit this particular saw, we're going to make a track that is going to give us straight and accurate cuts. So let's get started. On your circular saw, measure the distance from the blade to the edge that will ride up against the fence. And then make sure that this plywood base is a bit wider than that measurement. You will cut the edge off later, making this distance exact. When using a circular saw, set the teeth to extend beyond the base by only about a half or maybe a full tooth.
As described before, the base is wider than it needs to be. So keeping the circular saw against the 1x4, you can cut the plywood to be the exact width that is custom for the saw that you're using. And now your rip fence is sized precisely for the saw that you're using. You can place the guide exactly on your cut line and get a perfect cut.
There you have it. We've built our track, our fence, whatever you want to call it, and we've used the circular saw to break down plywood and to cut the bottom so that it's even on a project. And now we can make repeatable straight cuts. So I would call that a success. So I hope you found today's video interesting and maybe even learned something. I think we made something very useful. So until next time, please get out there and make something.